Now let's go ahead and focus on displaying pest information. Now if I go and open up my vegetable tab bar screen, you will be able to see that we do have vegetable list screen being displayed. That's our home screen. We have my garden. That's great. But pest is simply displaying a text view right now. So it would be nice if we can actually display, pest information. But here's the question. Where is the pest information? If you look at how we're formatting the data, obviously this is kind of like the result that we're getting from JSON. So that's why I'm showing it to you. But if you look at the actual URL, it's going to show you the same thing. The endpoint, if you're going to see, it's going to show you the same thing. I mean, this is the actual JSON that is being returned from the server. Now, when we take a look at this, it's quite interesting because it returns all the vegetable information along with the pest information. So it's not like you have to call one URL to get vegetable information and another URL to get pest information. You're just getting all of it at the same time. Now, if I go back to my vegetable tab bar screen, we're not really making any calls over here. The only call that we make to the server is inside vegetable list screen, as you can see. And when we make a call in vegetable list screen, it also downloads the pest information. So now the question is, well, how do we make sure that when we perform this, we also get pest information? I can go ahead and create a new view for a new screen for the pests, but I don't really want to make the call again to the server to get all the vegetable along with the pests. We just want to make the call once, not multiple times. So what can I do in this particular situation? All right. So one thing that comes to mind is, what if we make the call in vegetable tab bar screen and get all the data and then pass the relevant data to our different screens, right? I mean, that can work. So let's go ahead and see how we can do that. So we will remove the call eventually from vegetable list screen and we will move it to the tab bar screen. So now the tab bar screen needs some sort of a variable to hold this information. So I'm going to go ahead and say vegetables, and it will be an array of vegetable. There we go. But the vegetable list screen, this should be taking in the vegetables. So I need to pass in over here vegetables and vegetables. But as we already know, vegetable list screen does not really care that much about the vegetables. So let's go there and update that. Instead of the state variable in the vegetable list screen, it will just become a let variable. Not really a binding, because we're not really changing the vegetables. We're just getting the vegetable, passing it to a child screen in this case, or a view, which is going to be displaying it. And over here, we now need to pass in, and I wonder if I can use like some other technique to get the data. Let's go ahead and probably get the data from preview data dot load vegetables. So we're going to get that data from the preview, and the task modifier and all of this stuff is going to be moved somewhere else. So I'm going to just copy this or cut it out, go back to the over here to the vegetable tab bar screen, and in the vegetable tab bar screen, right over here, we can actually make that call. All right. Okay. I mean, it still works, so that's pretty good that we were able to fetch all the vegetables and we're able to pass it. Okay, so vegetable list screen is still working. What about the pests? Or how do we even get the pest, right? I mean, Is it even mapping correctly? I mean, we get the vegetables, but if you look at all these vegetables over here, model, it doesn't really have anything to do with pest information. So we need to make sure that when we are getting the information, we also want to get the pest information. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and probably add a new model over here. Just from a template, see the Swift file is okay. I'm just going to say over here pest, not pest. Okay. And what will be the different things about this? Well, it will be SwiftData model, because eventually when you save a vegetable using your My Garden vegetable, then that vegetable will also have pests, and the pests will also be saved over there. All right. Okay, so we got SwiftData over here. We got class, pests, and we can make it decodable. And I can go ahead and mark this with model. Now there are a couple of different things that we need about the pest information. Like this can be the name, this can be the body, symptoms, treatment, photo URL. Photo is very important for pest information. And pest can have a relationship with the vegetable. So I can go ahead and over here say vegetable. Vegetable. All right. Now, since it is trying to conform to decodable, we also need to make sure that we implement the initializer. So that's our initializer for decodable. We don't really have any coding keys right now, so let's go ahead and add coding keys. Coding keys, string, coding key. And we are just going to use kind of like the same approach. I'm going to say coding key was name, coding key is symptoms, spell it right. Oops. Treatment and photo. So those keys are fine, I think. I mean, they match exactly. The only key that is different is that the body will eventually be matching to the description, or the description will be matching to the body. All right. And that's our pest. Now we can go back to the vegetable and we can update this vegetable from a relationship, and we can say pest. There we go. And we can go ahead and say relationship. Now over here, it's going to be interesting because we can use a delete rule, but for the delete rule, we can say nullify, or we can say no action. Like what happens when you delete a vegetable, right? Not my vegetable, this is just a vegetable itself. The pest should not be deleted because those pests can be used in some other vegetables. So we can say nullify over here. That should be okay. So, but I'll just make this nullify also. All right. Okay. Now, another thing we need to make sure is that decoding part of it. So let's see if we can actually decode it. What if I say self.pest equals to try container.decode, and we will decode it to pests, and the key will be pests. Now, currently there is no key called pests, so I can just go ahead and another case over here in the coding keys for pests. All right, let's go ahead and build it again. So hopefully we'll be able to decode now with all that pest information. Okay. All right, so this is okay, this is fine. Let's go back to the vegetable tab bar screen, and we will find out if it's decoding correctly or not, if it doesn't display anything. There we go. So we got something displayed. That's good. Now, these are simply vegetables, all right? And once we fetch the vegetables, we are passing it to the vegetable list screen. We can do the same thing by creating a pest list screen. where you will simply pass in pests. So let me go ahead and create another screen. I'll say template. Next, I'll probably go over here, say pest list screen. Okay. There we go, pest list screen. Now in the pest list screen, you will be simply passing in pests. So an array of pests. And over here, pests. Now where do we get the pest, I guess, in this case, right? Well, that's going to be a little bit hard, right? Because if I say preview data dot load vegetables, so this will give me all the vegetables, but it won't really give me, pest or something like that. And if we want like all the pests, so we will have to come up with something different. Right now, just so that it can compile, we can just pass an empty thing over here. All right, but we'll have to come back to this a little bit later. Let's go back to the vegetable tab bar screen. Over here now, I can say pest list screen, but where do I get the pests? I mean, I can pass empty right now, but what do I do at this point, right? We have the vegetables over here. So what I can do is, we know that these vegetables does have pest information, because if you look at the actual JSON, here's the one vegetable, right? So all of this is one vegetable, and then you can see the pest information. It's an array of pests. So we can utilize that part. But before we do that, I want to talk about and show you azamsharp.school. Azamsharp.school contains one of the largest catalog for iOS development videos. Now, simply go ahead and check out the courses. Any course that you can imagine about iOS development is available on azamsharp.school. We have a course on skip fundamentals. You can build native iOS and Android applications. AI for iOS developers, even full stack e-commerce application with Stripe integration. What about SwiftUI architecture course, Superbase course, and you have full stack development with Vapor, SwiftData, core data, testing, reactive programming with Combine, test-driven development, MapKit, reality, fundamentals, machine learning, and so much more. So check out azamsharp.school for insanely good courses and also live workshops. Thank you so much. And now let's go back to the video. So now we're back in our vegetable tab bar screen. And in there, in the tab bar screen, we can go ahead and create a private property called pests right inside the view. And we can try to filter it out. Let's go ahead and just return an empty so that it doesn't really tell us that it's something wrong. There we go. Okay. Now, vegetables is an array, and that contains another array called pests, P-E-S-T-S, and you can always double check it in the file right there. So what we can do is we can get all the pests, all of them. I can say vegetables dot. Now, if I go ahead and simply map it, right? I mean, if I say map and then return, just give me the pests. Let's see what we get. See that? We're getting an array of pests, which is also nullable. So that's not really what we wanted. So what we can do is we can use flat map. So it's just going to give us the actual array if we want. And now I can say pests, but since pests is null, I can also wrap this like this. All right. So this is going to give me an array. If the pest is null, just give me an empty array. And now if I say all pests, you can see it's an array of pests. So that's good. But the problem is that the pest, if you look at the vegetable file, they are duplicated. All right. So over here we have this terps, and somewhere else you will find the same exact pest information. Now, this is just how the server is. All right. I mean, yeah, sure, you can go and change that, but let's just say that we are not changing that part. So what do we do then? So I'm going to go back And I need to write some code to filter it out. And there are hundreds and thousands of different ways you can do that. So feel free to do it in a very different way. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to map through all the pests, and I'm going to select the name in lowercase. Once I select the name in lowercase, I can go perform a compact map on it, name, and I can check over here if the all pests.first and matching the name itself, name.lowercase equals to name, and this is going to return us, only the filtered item, but not yet, because what I'm going to do is also wrap all of this, especially the all pest.mapping part, with an array or with a set. And once we wrap this with a set, then it's automatically going to give us only the names that we want. And in the end, we also want an array. So probably I'll just wrap these things with an array also. All right. And let's see if we can just directly return this stuff. Let's go ahead and build it. Now, I'm sure there are many other ways of doing that, but that's just one of them. Now I can pass in the pest information over here. Great. And I should be able to go to the pest list screen and iterate through the pests. So I'm going to go to pest list screen, and just to see if the pests are there or not, I can say pest, and just display something really simple like pest.name. Not in the preview, because I know the preview is not going to work because we're not really sending anything over here. But let's go to the tab bar screen. And let's click on pests. Okay, great, right? Look at that. We got all the pests over here. Awesome. So we didn't really have to make the call multiple times. We made the call in kind of like our root of our application, the root view, which is the vegetable tab bar screen. It downloaded all the information, and then from there we kind of break it up so that it can send pest information to the pest screen and vegetable information to the vegetable screen. All right. So we're on the right track. In the next lecture, we'll be looking at how we can design the pest screen a little bit better, because right now it's just displaying, just the name. And we will also work on the pest detail screen. We also have to search through the pest and the vegetables. So we have some ways to go, but we're on the right track. All right. So stay tuned for more.